Oh my God, what a morning. Like, things are just not going my way. My brain is like toast. But now I have all this confidence from my YouTube channel and from my job. Good morning and welcome back to another episode of the Work Life Diaries. So today is Tuesday and I thought that I would just take you through the rest of the week. I have nothing super crazy going on, so it's kind of gonna just be one of those weeks in my life, like a very average, normal, boring week as a regular person working a 9 to 5 and running a YouTube channel. So before I start working my regular job at 9, I spend my mornings working on my brand. So this morning I am going to be scheduling my LinkedIn post for this week. I normally post once a week, but the last couple weeks I've been posting 3 times a week because I set up this automated assistant in Claude Code where it repurposes my content from my closed captioning text document from a long form video. So it's made it a lot easier for me to get extra content out and reuse content that I have from a main video and turn it into little clips on LinkedIn. So I'm going to jump into my computer and figure out what I'm going to post on LinkedIn this week. To do something and wait around to ask if I can take. So I have all my LinkedIn stuff posted and scheduled for this week, and I didn't take a lot of time to do that because everything's already written. So that's like the nice part of getting content, just like a whole bank load of content that you can just schedule every week within like 10-15 minutes. Wow, my coffee is really cold. So now I'm going to fill up my water bottle, take my allergy medicine, brush my teeth, and grab my work laptop. Sorry, I forgot about, sometimes I forget that I have this mic and it sounds so much better. Use it, so let me clip it. Hopefully this sounds better now, and I'm gonna run water, so I apologize that the audio isn't that great. I'm actually excited to film this video because I filmed a declutter video that was very different from some of my vlogs in the past, and it was much more of a hang out with me style vlog where a lot of stuff that I normally would cut out, I left in, and it really did well, which was great. It was actually the best performing video that I've had since 2024. My videos were popping off because I was doing the layoff unemployment stuff. So I think I'm going to try to do more just like casual vlogging. And I don't know, vlogging has always been really hard for me because it's like, do I cut this? Is this too boring? How do I make this interesting? And I think that format that I used in the other video is something that I want to keep experimenting with because it seemed to get really good feedback on that. And it's not that I was never raw or authentic in any of my videos. It's just that it's like, to me, some of the stuff that I do is like the same every day. I mean, I go to work, I work on my stuff, I do my YouTube. Everything's kind of just like a system. It's the same almost every single day, and nothing ever really changes. And sometimes I feel like repeatedly showing that in videos is boring, but then it's like other people love that stuff. I think you all love that stuff. I think you like to see what it's like to other people just get through their days. I don't know, why do we have a fascination with the way humans live their lives when they're just, I don't know, when they're like us. I think it's interesting that we're all kind of like nosy, or what they would say in Pittsburgh is nebby, about how other people live their lives. Another thing on top of that is that I go on tangents like I just did, and I would cut them out, and I feel like I cut them out because they're not a part of like the theme or the overall whatever of the video that I was trying to get out. But tangents are like very Rachel. They're very on brand. I love a tangent. I love deep diving into things. So when I went into this deep dive about linen and different pieces of linen in that declutter video, that was very me because that's how I am. So I think I'm gonna stop cutting that stuff. Very ADHD of me, but that's just how I am. Oh my gosh. So the workday was over like 40 minutes ago, but it was just such a long day that I immediately shut the laptop and went on the couch and just chilled for like 40 minutes. Kevin called me, I talked to him, um, and then I did a little scroll on Substack, but it was a really long day. And I know I didn't check in a lot, but it was just a constant bombardment of meetings, emails, IMs. Can you look at this? Can you look at that? I have a lot of work to do. Last week I was sick and I worked from home all week and I just wasn't feeling obviously like well enough to like really hone in on work. I did get a lot done last week though, even though I was sick. And next week I'm only working Monday and Tuesday. I'm out for 3 days. It's the weekend of Memorial Day. I go and visit my parents, so I'm trying to get a bunch of work done this week so I'm not behind when I'm come back. But there's also issues going on with things and it was just a lot and I really hate days like this. I hate when there's constant switching between tasks and projects and IMs and emails and even with me ignoring all of those and trying to set them aside for a later time. I probably went through 10 different projects today within 8 hours, and that just is not how I like to work, but it's just kind of how the work is right now, and I don't like it, and it makes me really, really tired. So that is not really fun, but I have to go in the office tomorrow, so I have to pick out an outfit. I have to clean up a little bit. I have to get my lunch ready. So I'm gonna take you through some of the night. Not sure how much of it I'm going to film because Kevin's home tonight and I try to give him privacy because he didn't ask to be on the internet for the whole world to see. So I've been sitting on the couch since I got home from work because I'm not feeling that good. I don't know if my lunch at work today made me sick or something, but my stomach is like rolling in knots and I do not feel good. I didn't pack last night for work, which I normally do. Like I would normally pack a work lunch and I didn't. So I was like, oh, I'll go and get Jimmy John's because I know a couple people like to go and get Jimmy John's and I normally don't eat that very often, but it was a nice day. It was 60 degrees. The sun was shining. There was no rain. So I was like, okay, I'll just go with the group. So I went and got a turkey tom, got my little lunch. And so I don't know if it was that or the fact that I had 2 coffees today at work that made my stomach upset, but it is just not feeling great. Luckily, it was at the end of the day at work when I started feeling like the rolling, like bubble gut thing, and then I came home. So not only was today an office day, but today is Wednesday, which means it's grocery day, and I write the grocery list and Kevin goes and gets it. And then we have pizza. That's like our thing, our Wednesday night routine. So he should be coming home soon and we're going to make pizza. But I think I'm going to just chill tonight. Usually when I get to this like midweek day, especially since it's an office day and it's a grocery night, I do not do any chores. I try to relax. The only thing I have to do is on the porch, I have a giant box of clothes because I ordered some more clothes for it in the office. And I have to go get that. I should probably go get that soon. I just didn't have, like, I just couldn't carry everything up the stairs when I came home. I already got one package and couldn't lift the big giant box up. So that's like the only thing I'm doing tonight. I don't really feel like doing anything else. Work was really annoying. It's like, I don't know. I haven't really been having the best time at work. I'm still burnout. I'm still just busy all the time and trying to make all the changes at work with my schedule and how I can get things done. And it's just always a struggle and it's really exhausting. So these office days are even worse. I think resting tonight is a good option and it gives me some space to relax and take a break and not be productive and not worrying about getting things done. So. Good morning, everybody. Happy Thursday. I just got dressed and now I'm coming out to the kitchen, getting ready to make breakfast. It is almost 7 o'clock. Today is going to be a little bit of a different day. I have to run a career growth pod later today at 4 o'clock. So I actually have to start working early. Okay, hopefully you can hear me and my apron doesn't ruin the audio. Anyway, so I have a growth pod that I have to run later today, and this isn't something that I am running. That's something that I own. It's essentially something that I volunteered for. So if you were around for the Unemployed Diaries, I mentioned at that time that I joined this online virtual networking group called Rise. And so I am still active in that group. And they are doing like a growth pod where they matched you with people that are in similar like career situations that you are or in your aspiring career situations. And there's a group of me and 4 other women, and no one else wanted to be the leader and set up all the meetings. So of course I volunteered myself because that's just what I do. So I'm hoping that everybody can join today and it's not just me on the huddle. I did send the schedule a couple days ago after getting everybody's availability and sent out a introductory meeting agenda. So hopefully it goes well and hopefully everybody shows up and I'm not just there looking at myself on my MacBook Slack video call. I had to vacuum the floor because when Kevin makes pizza at night, he gets flour all over the floor from tossing the dough. And then it makes the floor slippy and I can feel it underneath my flip-flops. Like oh my God, what a morning. Like things are just not going my way. I can feel it underneath my flip-flops and that drives me absolutely bonkers. So since I have to start early at work today, I'm not going to be able to work on my YouTube channel or anything like that. I'm actually having a hard time finding time to work on that this week. So you probably are not going to see this video until weeks after Memorial Day is my guess, just because I have no time to edit it. So now we're going to do my favorite thing of the morning, and that is to make coffee. It's finally lunchtime and I feel like I've just been grinding all day at work. I put do not disturb on my Teams because I really just wanted to get my stuff done, and everybody seemed to leave me alone, which was great. I still have 3 meetings left this afternoon. One of them I'm completely running, one of them I'm just presenting in, and thankfully the other one I'm just a participant, and it's usually a short meeting and I don't have to do anything, which is great because I am so tired of meetings. Ever since the change and reorganization happened when my manager left in February, my meeting load has really increased, and I am absolutely not a fan of it. Mostly because I hate having meetings unless you really need to have a meeting. And most meetings in corporate are just pointless and could have been an email, and I hate it. I just feel such a waste of time. I am very much a person that just wants to do project work and get projects done and have process improvements and get on meetings to collaborate and brainstorm about different ways that we can find a solution to the problem. I don't want to get on meetings that really just seem pointless and didn't really need to happen. And I know I'm not the only one. I know that's like the big gripe that people have when it comes to working in corporate. Also, I went to put my mic on here to see if there we go. Okay. So I'm putting the mic on here. Hopefully you can hear me. I also realized that my shirt's on inside out, so the tag thing is back here, but you know what, whatever, we're just gonna go with it. We're gonna go with the inside out shirt today. The best thing about today being Thursday though is that tomorrow's Friday, and tomorrow means no meetings. I typically never have meetings on Friday. I avoid them like the plague. If I get my work done during the first 4 days of the week, then on Fridays what I like to do is use that time to work on my learning. So right now I am doing something that I didn't intend to do this year, but I've realized that it is something that is really needed for someone that's in operations and strategy, and that's getting some SQL skills. I'm not sure how many people work in operations or as an analyst or something like that who know what SQL is, but it's essentially a system that pulls data based on tables that contain lots and lots of data. That's like the non-tech version of what it is. I'm taking a couple certifications for that on LinkedIn Learning. LinkedIn Learning has a basic introductory one that's only 4.5 hours. And then they have a couple other ones that you can use, and you do get an official certificate, so it's something that you can put on your resume and your LinkedIn. So I figured if I just dip my toe in and get a couple quick certifications in SQL and play around with it and kind of learn a little bit more about it, that would really help cover that gap that I have with SQL. I don't do too much of it in my current position. All I have is I do have pre-made SQL queries that I plug into the server and I pull it that way, and I can kind of change a SQL query around if I need to try to pull data out of different tables, but I'm not really good at translating an ask like, hey, I need to get this information into a SQL query. But apparently that's like the most important thing to learn when it comes to SQL. So that's my tangent on what I'm learning right now at work. I am really big into learning and getting certificates and trying to grow your skills and knowledge, not only for work, but outside of work and in your personal life as well. It's just self-growth, learning. It's my thing. I have a very curious mind and I will deep dive into stuff all the time. I'm curious to know what everybody is learning right now. Are you learning something for your career? Are you learning something as a hobby? Let me know in the comments, because I love to meet other people that are lifelong learners and enjoy learning and getting certificates and trying new things. So let me know what you're up to. Maybe it'll inspire me to learn something else or get my next certificate. have about 15 minutes left of work. And I'm like so ready for it to just be over because my brain is like toast because of all the meetings and just all the stuff going on at work. And then directly after this, I have that pod meeting. So I'm kind of getting up and standing up and just doing any like easy stuff to finish the day because my brain, I cannot do any deep work right now, nor do I have enough time to get any of it done. I wish I didn't have this pod meeting at 4 o'clock, but it's too late. It's already set up. Like, I'm not going to bail on it. It's just like one of those weeks and one of the days where I just want to crash after work and just lay on the couch and put the heating pad on because I can feel like stress and just from sitting at my desk way too long today because of all the meetings. I can feel it in the back of my neck. And the heating pad would feel really, really great with relieving that right now. And I just can't. It's also like, I also feel like I'm just so drained that I don't know if I can be fully present to lead on this pod meeting. And that's kind of why I don't like having other meetings later in the day because I'm just burnt out and tired and exhausted and I can't fully show up and be present. But there wasn't a lot of options with availability, so it is what it is, and I have to make do. I might just like log off like 10 minutes early and just like decompress before I go into this other meeting. I think I am going to do that and just call it a day. Okay. I'm gonna decompress. I will talk to you later. Good morning. So today is Friday. Thank goodness I am ready for the weekend and ready for this week to be over. I definitely stopped filming yesterday afternoon. I kind of feel like I bailed on you yesterday because I said I was going to take a break before my pod meeting and then I never checked back in. And the pod meeting went well. I actually didn't end up getting a 5-minute early out from work because someone pinged me literally as soon as I said that I was going to do that. And then I had to jump on another call and I ended up being late to my own pod thing because work, well, you know, sometimes it happens. I had a really bad headache yesterday. So the pod went okay. There was some technical difficulties with Slack and I'm not a big Slack person. I don't use it that often. I typically use Teams or Zoom, and not everyone was able to join, but we definitely had a good discussion. It was nice to talk to people about their careers and about like their situation with being unemployed and just sharing some of my experience from when I was laid off in 2024. So I think it's always good to network and meet new people and open yourself to those opportunities. Honestly, if you would have asked me 2 years ago if I ever would have been interested in running a pod growth community for a nonprofit that's online where I have to reach out to people and basically facilitate meetings and be the one that's leading everything, I would have been like, yeah, right, Rachel's never going to do that. But now I have all this confidence from my YouTube channel and from my job, and now I'm doing those things and I want to do more of it. And I would love to do something more formal with all of you on this channel and kind of get together and run some sort of life audit pod or career growth thing or just something. So if you have any thoughts on that, or if that's something you would be interested in, let me know, because there's a lot more community building that I want to do with my brand and my channel. And I love this idea of community building and getting people together and working together to achieve each other's individual goals, but like having that support system. I think that's really important because for the past 6 years, I've been on what I call my self-growth journey, and I have no support. I really didn't have anyone. I did it all my own, and it's been a very lonely road, and I don't want other people to have to go through what I've gone through. I want people to have support. I ended up going to Kevin's garage last night and not doing anything at home, so none of my dishes are washed. So I have to wash my dishes to cook. And I think tonight we're going to spend more time cleaning up the house a little bit before our Sunday reset when we do the deep clean. And I have laundry to do. And I do have a lot of things going on at work today. I'm hoping that I can get my actual work done so I have time to work on my SQL learning course, but we'll see. I was hoping this week wouldn't be as busy as it ended up being. And it's just, I've really tried to keep my boundaries with the random calls at work and the random interruptions and putting myself on do not disturb, but all of the task jumping and all the meetings are really wearing me down this week. And yesterday I was just so exhausted. I went to bed at 8:50 or something like that. I didn't even read my book. And most of this week I haven't read my book at all. I've just been so mentally drained that I can't pick up the book and I go to bed. I have been doing some breathing exercises when I get to bed because I've been under a lot of stress and I've been having a hard time sleeping or not sleeping well or not being able to shut off my mind. So I've been doing Andrew Huberman's non-sleep deep rest for about 10 minutes. So that is kind of like a meditation and a breathing technique. Then I will put on binaural beats to fall asleep to. And that seems to help turn off my mind so I can stop thinking about things and stop worrying about everything that's going on and just actually get sleep. So I've been trying a lot of different things and having a lot of different approaches to reduce the stress and try to regulate my nervous system. And I think I'm going to do a vlog about that. I think I'm going to do a Let's Regulate Our Nervous System vlog because I feel like I keep trying to convince myself logically that everything's okay and that I'm fine and that this isn't that big of a deal, but I still feel awful. And a lot of the stuff that used to work to make me feel good and to make me happy, even last year, is not working. And I think that's because my nervous system is dysregulated. And I think I need to work on fixing that. So that was a really big rant for the morning. Like, I haven't even had coffee yet, and I've already written a LinkedIn post that came to my mind when I was in the shower. We already talked about community building and engagement and regulating our nervous system. So like, we went really deep, and it's 7:30 and no coffee. So I'm gonna focus on making my coffee, getting my breakfast, and I'm going to put some of the clips from this video on my computer, work a little bit on that, and then start my last work day of this week. Check in with you later. It's lunchtime and I am absolutely starving. I ended up being on a lot of calls this morning and just kind of doing like a co-working session with my coworker where we were getting work done but just chatting, which is fun, and it kind of helps break out the week, especially when you have a rough week and you just feel exhausted and frustrated at work. It kind of helps to just like chat with a coworker, talk about what's going on, and get work done at the same time. And obviously I can't do deep focus work when I'm in one of those sessions. It has to be something that's easy to do. But I do like to save all of my easy work for the end of the week if I can, because then, like, who doesn't want to have an easy Friday? And that's kind of what I already did today. And I'm digging in my fridge right now because I'm running out of cooked vegetable. I'm running out of cooked vegetables, so I'm looking for something that I can make like a little salad with. So I think I'm going to use, I'll take you with me. I think I'm going to use cucumber, avocado, and then some grape tomatoes and olive oil and have like a little veggie salad with my salmon and potatoes. I have a headache again today, and I'm wondering if my sinuses are still not cleared out from me being sick last week, because I'm also starting to feel a little bit of fullness in my ear. So I think I'm going to take medicine to try to get more of the mucus out, which I know sounds really gross, but I have chronic sinuses, so that's just what I deal with all the time. And it's super frustrating to randomly get headaches and sinus infections. especially when it's allergy season, and that makes it even worse. I'm so ready for work to be over, though. I just need this busy, crazy, frustrating week at work to be done with. I need a break. No, this avocado probably isn't great. It's not like the worst one, but it probably isn't going to be tasty in a salad. It's probably better for a dressing. So I think I'm going to put this back together, and I'm going to save it because I think this is definitely like it needs to be a dressing for it to taste good. So let me find a container and put this in. There's another one that's in there that might still be better to eat straight avocado. Moment of truth. This isn't that great either. I mean, it's better than the other one, but it's not the best. But we're gonna use it. This is the one we're gonna use. We're just gonna go with it. Because I don't want to keep cutting over avocados and hoping that one of them is going to be like a beautiful, perfectly ripe avocado. And don't worry, it's a butter knife, so it's not like I'm going to cut myself or anything here. Oh. Okay, so my salad now has cucumber, avocado, and a couple tomatoes. It's like honestly not very pretty. I'll show you. I think I'm also going to add some olive oil and salt. Where is my fancy olive oil? Normally, I do not buy olive oil that comes in a plastic container, but the Graza drizzle oil I actually really like. So I will buy it for the summer for salads and stuff because I think it has a really good flavor for salads. So tasty. And it's light, it's not heavy. And then the salt is always Malden flaky sea salt, and I crumble it up a little bit. And I do love salt, so I salt a little bit heavier when I'm making something that's just for myself. I could probably add olives to this, but I'm not really in the mood to eat olives. And I do have other cherry tomatoes over there. So I think I might add more because it's looking a little green. 1 second. So this is a salad, pretty hefty. I'm excited, I'm starving. It's 3:30, I've been sitting at my desk pretty much all afternoon, just like, you know, typing away. And now I'm having my afternoon sweet tooth craving, which is brownie cookies from the grocery store down the street. Definitely needs milk. Such a stressful week that I told Kevin that I absolutely needed chocolate. So work is officially over, and I don't have to go back to work for 2 days, which is great. I am so glad that this week has been ended because it's been busy, it's been stressful. I've had a lot to do, and I'm really looking forward to my short week next week with only 2 days, and then PTO and going home and visiting my family. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me for this slightly chaotic and busy work week in my life, and I can't wait to connect with you in the next video.